props. I have rolled up towel, and I have, just ignore that, I have my trusty ball. That's it for this morning's class. So just two props, a towel and your Pilates ball or whatever you're going to use to pop between your legs when we hit that moment. Fantastic. And I'm just going to ask Sarah to sound check. Can you hear me, Sarah? Perfect. Welcome to National Pilates Training Community Mat class. If this is your first class, enjoy. For all of us, reminder that if something hurts, as in the difference between muscle soreness and positive stress compared to pain. So for example, pain in lower back because you're straining it. So see if you can really tune into the difference with that. I usually cue you and remind you what it's got to feel like in your body. And sometimes that's going to be stressful. So just a reminder that the idea of Pilates and the idea of any workout you do for fitness and exercise should feel stressful, positively stressful. And if it's building on strength and conditioning, you need to go through an overload journey, as most of you know. If we're not overloading, then you're kind of on a maintenance diet, which might be all very well, but not as we age, not physically. You and I need to keep stressing the joints. And therefore, if we stress the joints, we get enough muscular pull and therefore, ideally, slow down the aging process and continue to feel well. Good. So you're probably noticing that I'm hitting 55 in the next 2 weeks. And my birthday's coming up. And so you're probably noticing there's a bit of a climb, there's a bit of a mission I'm on in terms of really, I suppose, practicing what I preach, which is putting the upper torso, particularly my wrists and my bones, under enough load. If you've been following our Align for Life Pilates and Insta page, you'll also notice there's a bone loading series that I've started to introduce. If you would like the bone loading series that I do every second day, please write to me. So it involves star jumps. So I do 60 star jumps, 50 hops right, 50 hops left. I do 3 sets of 15 jetpack jumps. And in between the jetpack jumps, I do a bone loading series on my wrists and shoulders, and I finish with a hanging series into handstands, and I do it every second day. So if you would like that routine, just send me an email. Have a lovely morning. We're standing, as you would have expected, because that's where we were last week. So we're on a bit of a theme. We're on a bit of a roll. Okay. So using your towel, I've got mine rolled up, but yours doesn't have to be rolled up. I've got my legs just outside the width of my pelvis, and I've got my feet turned to 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So you and I have been cueing the feet, the active use of the feet. So you might like to pick all 10 toes up with me to get that foot ready and woken up. As you press all 10 toes down into the floor now, do you remember we were talking about trying to get space between all 10 toes? So when you look down, you'd like no toes sitting on top of each other, and you'd like it to look like you've just had a fresh pedicure and you're waiting for your nails to dry. So that in itself, just to get that in the foot, you should feel like you're using your intrinsics, those beautiful little muscles that sit between your metatarsals, between those very fine bones in your feet. And if you don't keep them strong, you're at risk, obviously, as you know, of things like plantar fasciitis, very uncomfortable, very painful, very hard to get rid of. And why does that condition come about? Because those little muscles are not strong enough. And as you know, we spend most of our life, or should spend most of our life, up on our feet. So let's get those guys working. Let's get those muscles nice and strong. You should feel like you have a bridge underneath your foot. You should literally feel lightness underneath this midfoot. How do you do that? You press the knuckle heads down into the floor, and you press the long toes without scrunching, right through to feel the tippy point. Good, so you've got a foot, ideally. Now can you strap the legs up for us? So can you stand on two piston type legs and really engage your muscles, particularly around your knees. So if you were to wiggle your patellas, they shouldn't be wiggling. So you might just do a quick test. What does that feel like in your leg not to be able to wiggle your patella? So often when I'm teaching class, that's the weakness I see, the two things we've brought up. The foot is usually not working at all. And the knees are usually sitting sloppy, which means these fibers down here actually don't get exercised. Good, so there are your two take-homes already. Reach your arms to the ceiling. Look up to the ceiling, two strong outstretched arms, gripping, grabbing your towel. Looking up, have you still got your feet? Looking up, have you still got two strong piston-type legs? What did it feel like when you tested those patellas? They shouldn't have been able to wiggle. So it should feel really strong and engaged around your knee line. Then come up and check your pelvis. So looking up, double check you haven't swung your butt out and back. So coccyx pointing south. Lower abdominals drawn up. We're twisting left. Your base hasn't changed. We're going over the top of the left foot. Check your knees, check both feet. We're coming all the way through the middle, check both feet, check both knees. We're going right. We're coming all the way up on the right. And we're hitting the center, just pause, check feet, two strong legs. And we're going right. Use your core, use your abdominals, really feel your center and your weight as you pass through the middle, as you go left, as you arrive up on top. Good morning. And go left. Really use your legs down to see the strong feet across to the right and hit your center last time. Go right. Stable and strong through the lower half of you. Over the right foot. Through the center. Up the left. Arriving. Good. Now you're going to pivot. So you pivot through the left foot first. It arrives on your side. Left leg bends, right leg stays straight, and you're going to reach right back and try and touch your back knee with your towel. Then you send your arms away, forward, out in front of you, pivot through your feet, and arrive back looking up. Arms stay long the whole time. Pivot, feet hit your new direction. Front leg bent, back leg straight. Get low with your trunk, reach all the way back to find the back knee. Keep your arms outstretched. Reach and open up your armpits. Pivot both feet, hit center. Rotate. Lower down. Make sure you've got the back leg straight and the front leg bent. Moving through the torso, absorbing the stress through your legs. Last one, pivot, twist, turn and reach, coming back, arriving up. Good job. Dump your towel, you won't need it for a little minute. Do-si-do your feet, toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in, heels out, toes out, heels out, toes out, toes in, heels in. So you're going to pick up the foot, rise up to move, pick up the foot to move, rise up to move, pick up the foot, pick up the foot, heel, pick up the foot, heel, rest. Well done. Okay, turning side on, getting ready for a roll down, starting from the top of your head. Take a moment to check feet. Start from the top of the head, working through the spine. Let your legs flex. Arriving down at your floor, walk out and arrive in your tabletop position. Drop your feet. We move into our little hand stretch sequence. So keeping your weight placed, hands under shoulders, knees under pelvis, hips, spine long. Can you raise the wrist? Can you pick up the heel of the hand, keeping your fingers outstretched and long, and then slowly lower? You won't even see mine. I'm thinking it, but I'm barely getting off the ground. Long fingers really take the floor. So I'm trying to keep the knuckles of my hands on the floor and my arms are fully outstretched. So I can already feel that's a lot of work in my hand, and particularly to keep my arms strapped up into my shoulders and my back suitably long in the neutral position. Hands, pick up, stay long through your fingers. We have one more. Picking up through the heel of the hand and place. We pivot. So now the fingers are facing. They're still spread. We take the floor with the palm of the hand. Don't know about you, but that's already a big stretch for me. I'm going to think the same thing. Without shifting my weight back, I'm going to try and pick up the heel of my hand without bending my elbows. Again, you won't see me move, but I'm thinking it. And so the only way to do that is to pick your weight up out of your wrists. Really use your upper torso and your shoulders. One to go. Okay, now bring the hands so that the fingers are meeting each other. Think long. Take the jazz hand, really press through the knuckles of the hand as we lower down, counting to 5. Press through the palm of the hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. More pressure with your hand. Press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check you've got all the knuckles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Arm really open and spread. Fingers long. 3, 4. Try and kiss your hands. Pressing back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Now make 2 fists. I'm going to have to bring my knees closer for this one. So make 2 fists. So now your palms are facing up. Try to press your 2 fists, clenched fists together. You're laying down again. So this part feels easy. Keep the pressure in on your knuckles. Keep pressing and see how far you can straighten your arms as you continue to press. I can't go very far. Slowly lower. Keep pressing. So the energy is in. Particularly as you straighten your arms, try not to lose the pressure in. You have 2 to go. Last one. Whew. Good job. Back to usual position, but now really challenging that open spread hand. You should feel suitably warm. Pitch over the top. of your all four position. Wrap your elbows in, touch the floor, pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check your hands. Actively press the knuckleheads into the floor. Wrap your elbows in to meet each other. What are we training? The push-up. Back up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Think long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good job. Sit your weight back on your feet. Drop your head. Bend a little moment with your feet. So separate the toes. Lengthen the toes. And then drop your head. Should feel like a really nice stretch for your back. An opening for your back. And I don't know about you, but I can already feel the tension I've held in my neck and my upper back. Meanwhile, my feet are getting a good stretch. And it's a good mobility moment for my ankle. Okay, dropping the weight onto my feet. It's a nice time to try roll up. Keep your knees bent. Roll through your back. Really feeling the opening through your lumbar. Control through the abdominals as you find your upright position. You're going down, starting from the top of the head. Rolling. Good challenge for the balance. To have your feet tightly held. Just double check you bent your knees a little to roll down at this time of the morning. Taking the strain off your back. Arriving down into our toe terra stretch. So you want your big toes together and your ankles together. You're trying to get your toes on the floor. Close your eyes while you're bearing the stretch in the position. If it's too much for you, just look to camera. You're more than welcome to be here. And it's particularly deep on your knees. So take care, everybody. If you need to back out of the knee line, it's very possible just to modify that. You'll still get the foot fascial stretch, but it'll take the pressure out of your knee. So work with what you have, particularly if you don't do this stretch very often. Close your eyes when you're ready and just focus on your breath. Okay, drop your feet, open your knees, take the floor with your hands. So think about the detailed work we've put into the hand. Can you set that up? The arms are fully outstretched. The arms are corkscrewing back into the shoulder as you slowly lower the torso and the head. Now you're going to keep the buttocks position, sitting back towards the heels. You're going to keep the hands. You're going to look forward out along your mat, up your wall in front, extending through your thoracic. Keep working on your hands. Keep pressing into the floor. Really outstretch your arms and suck back into the head of the shoulder. Stay strong, hands and arms. Shoulders up the torso. Gently lower your head. Arriving back between your arms. You have 2 more. Look forward and long, start with the head. Working through your spine from top to bottom. See how far you can raise the chest up. Check your elbows. Check your fully outstretched arms. Check your hands. Slowly lower. You have 1 to go. Looking forward and long. and slowly lower. Great job. You're coming down. So laying in a plank position, you're taking your arms back by your pelvis, palms up. You've got your feet and legs outstretched. You're now going to join them together. Check your kneecaps are off the floor. And remember the cue we worked on early on in the session, how you want those knees to feel. So active, use the lower fibers of your quads. Really lengthen through your inner thigh muscles and press your feet together. Now the back you've just found, reaching out through the crown of the head, raising the chest up, feeling extension, particularly through your upper thoracic. Raise your arms off the floor. Raise both legs off the floor. Breathe in, count to 5. Breathe out, count to 5. Breathe in, count to 5. Breathe out, check your limbs. Can you stretch more? Check the spine. Can you elongate more? Can you send the crown of the head forward? Can you send the pubic bone down? Can you iron out the creases in your lower back? Keep practicing the flow of breath. Last set. And rest. Circling arms around in front to fully outstretched arms. Practice your hands. So take the floor with your 2 active hands, long fingers. Find the fully outstretched arm, corkscrewing back into your shoulder. Bring the head and chest just up. Keep your bottom front ribs on the floor. Raise your right leg and press back down. Keep working on your upper torso. Make sure you're not too high. So the bottom half of your rib cage as you raise your left leg. You're balancing on the bottom half of your rib cage and both pelvises, the bones of both pelvises. Lower down. Check both legs fully outstretched. So one leg is actively pressing down through the top of the foot. Other side, find your pelvis. Iron out the creases in your lower back again. Now raise right leg, left arm. Just stay. Work on the 2 raised arms. So work on those 2 limbs, fully outstretching both of them. Feels like the tippy toes are reaching backwards and the fingers forward. The 2 limbs that are on the floor, actively take the floor. Lower back down. Other side. Raise right arm and left leg. Check your pelvis. Is it still centered? Can you feel your pubic bone? Core strapped in. Are you reaching forward along the front of your mat with your sternum? Last set. Raise left arm, right leg. Check what you're doing with the 2 limbs that are still on the floor. Fully outstretched. Check what you're doing with the spine. Remember, iron out the creases in your lower back. Last time, raise right arm, left leg. And rest. Have a little moment, push your weight back onto your heels, tuck your feet, drop your feet. You're rolling back up. Legs will still be flexed and bent. Roll through the spine. Check your feet. Keep your feet strong as you arrive in the upright position, especially here now. Careful you don't rest your feet. Strap those knees up. Stand on 2 strong piston type legs. Roll down from the top of the spine, let your knees go. Keep your feet strong. Rolling from the top of the spine, working your way down. all the way out past your quadruped position, back to your prone position. The arms are still forward. The arms are still long. Take the floor with your hands, stretch both legs. Now you're going to practice raising both arms and both legs. Take care. As you raise both arms and both legs, be careful. What did you do in lower back? Did you iron out the creases in lower back? Did you really strap the core? Lower back down, head and chest stay off. We're only doing 3. Take care on your preparation. Raise. Keep it very small if you're already noticing you're not very strong in lower back. Last time. Think long with your limbs. And lower back down. Walk your hands back in, bend your knees, tuck your feet, drop your feet, and start to roll back up. Remember the action in the feet. So you're pushing off the feet, working your way through your spine, arriving in the upright position. Starting from the top of the spine, so really take care through your neck. Really sense the upper back. Knees are flexed. Hands are touching the floor. Sweeping out, and this time arriving facing camera in your mermaid position. Okay, good. So your side hand, creep it away. Already making you feel like there's a bit of work to do. Can you be on a tilt with me? Can you lift through both sides? Can you actively work through your waist? Top hand behind your head. Can you turn and look down at your bottom hand, but still keep your 2 shoulders facing camera, just like your 2 pelvises facing camera. Check your hand. Slowly tip through the torso, so side bend, and lay your elbow on the ground. Turn to face the bottom hand with your head. Careful you kept your 2 shoulders facing camera. It's a side bend. Great stretch already for the top waist and rib cage. Now you're wrapping that elbow in line, yes? So line it up with the heel of your hand, but you've got to keep the knuckles of the hand on the floor. Last one. Tipping. Lifting back up. Come back up to your T. Grab hold of your legs and reach us over into the mermaid position, the side bend, and just have a little moment. Enjoy it. Good. Let's do the other side. Good. So the first setup, which I find really tricky, how do I turn and look down to my hand, but keeping my top shoulder open? Here we go. Wrap the elbow in, rotate through your shoulder, and go over the top of your hand and push back up. Left elbow pinned back. That's my top shoulder. Left shoulder open and push back up. Ready to go. Wrap that elbow in, rotate through the shoulder, and lift back up. Stay strong through your core. Should be feeling it in your waist. Last time. And lift back up. Good job. Over into our side bend. Whew. Okay, into the regular side reach position. You should feel good. You should feel suitably warm and prepared so that you can now go through a true tilt, place the hand. And now a true side bend, let your head go, lay your elbow. Back up to the T, which is your tilt. Find that through the spine and sit back upright tall. Tilts. It's like you're pitching like an aeroplane through the ceiling, through the sky. And now a side bend. Remember what we did in the hand and arm and shoulder. So remember, we've already worked on that. Pick back up to the T and sit up straight. Good. Really think about the work in your upper torso. And tip back up. Keep that energy in your upper torso. Good. Think about what you're going to do through that low shoulder and arm. Back to the T and sit up. Last one. Over to the T and wrapping in. Back to the T and sitting up. Good job. I'm grabbing my ball. I'm getting ready for rollback. Good. Arms and shoulders suitably awake and feeling strong now. So keep your arms outstretched. Really use the hands and that connection to your shoulders. Good. Imprint. Roll through the spine. You're aiming to articulate. Lower back touches first. Reach your arms all the way back to the wall behind you, fully outstretched. Really feel the hand and arm and shoulder, and that linking to what you're doing in your upper torso, rolling through your spine, coming over, shoulders over hip line, making it all the way to your top. Grab hold of your legs, work on your sitting position. Can you get that lower back upright? Can you sit right up on top of those sit bones? And you've noticed I've come right up to my basic back extension position at the top. I'm going to hold the lower back on that strength as I release my arms. Rolling through, it starts with your imprint. Use the ball between your legs, promoting that inner thigh strength and connection, all the way lowering the lower spine to the floor, reaching your arms back. Long through your arms and shoulders, two fully outstretched arms. Arms are sucking back into the head of your shoulder, rolling over the top of the rib cage. Arriving up, shoulders over hip line, grab hold of legs, stack. Push off the sit bones, climb through the lower back, walk your eyes up and back across your ceiling. Check your lower core. Last time, stay strong through lower back, sitting up here, and roll. I like to use the breath. Keeps me attentionally focusing when it gets a bit stressful. So that's that deep breath you just heard. A sit and stack, working on the hip flexor strength to the lower back strength, working on the mobility of the thoracic. Good. An evil moment coming up, but we need to do it. Squeeze your feet together and float your lower legs up in line with your knees. Teaser prep. You're going to hold on to the back of the thigh and you're going to practice imprinting. So you're going to roll backwards just like we've just done. How far can you go before you fall over? For me, it's not very far. And then I'm going to roll right back up, and at the top in my V-sit, I'm going to try and let go. Now be careful, in that V-sit, you're not tipping up on top of your sit bones. You're back onto the back side of your sit bones. Hands under, we're only doing 3. Work on it. Very strong hip flexor work, but that's important. Roll back up, keep control through your lower abs. Remember, you're not on top of the sit bones. Lift through the column without pitching forward with your pelvis. One more. Good. We should feel suitably ready for roll like a ball. So right up here at the top position, can you draw your legs in tight, but at the same time feel like you're doing your teaser prep exercise? So imprint through the pelvis, draw back with the lower spine already. And then the secret here is to push your legs into your hands and arms. So there should be a battle going on there. Arms are trying to get fully outstretched. Feet are trying to actively push against the arms, which means those hip flexors are active. Now, good luck. You're not allowed to let go of that leg energy as you roll, as you sit. Squeeze those feet together. Good. Did you maintain the distance between your chest and your thighs? 3 more. Last one. Well done. Back on the floor, getting ready for single leg stretch. So I'm going to start with my knees on my chest. That feeling I've just had, I'm going to take into single leg stretch through my legs, through my hips. So here I'm going to roll through the spine, drawing my sternum inwards, and I'm going to press my legs up into my hands. So it's just a little prep working on the shape of your back. Roll back through the spine, draw your knees into your chest, articulating through your back. I find chest lift and the spinal flex position the hardest thing. So I've got to really make sure my sternum slides down and inwards, which already changes the shape of my back. I want my whole back in the spinal flex position. Here we go. How much more can you slide the sternum? How much more can you push 2 hands up into your legs? Stay there. Left leg goes forward. I take the left hand to the inside of the right knee, and my right hand is still on my shin, and I'm pushing actively up. Change legs. Left hand. Actively press your left leg up into your hand. Change legs, check your back. Change legs, check your core. Strong legs. Rest. Ooh, that felt really good. It felt like we set up everything we needed, right from the roll back, through the teaser prep, into that little preparation exercise, into single leg stretch. I'm sure you know what's coming. Spin around. Now, I need my couch for the hundreds. I still find hundreds really difficult. So I'm using my little footstool to make sure I get the positioning right for my hundreds. So hopefully you've got something close that you can use like me. If you're strong and young and not as old as me, you can do the hundreds without a prop, without an assist. So why do I use it? Because as I come up into that trunk flex position, remember you've got to get the energy down into the shape. So when the legs come up and off, have you got enough hip flexor strength? Have you got enough core strength? I'll leave you to make that discerning decision, respecting your back. So we're up. Before you beat, breathe in, count to 5. At the beat, squeeze your legs. Duck and draw the legs into your pelvis. Light feet. Oh, well done. Hopefully you enjoyed that as much as I did. I felt really aware of my upper torso, and I felt like I did a better job keeping my arms part of my upper torso. Okay, good. We're in for leg circles. So now you're going to set up one leg actively pushing up against your hands, exactly the same thread as we've been working on through your teaser prep, your single leg stretch. You're taking the left leg low and long towards your floor. You're taking your left leg wide without spinning and rocking your pelvis. Left leg comes all the way to the top. We're doing 3. Feel what you're doing in your right leg. Are you actively pressing up into your hands? Feel what you're doing in your pelvis. You shouldn't be rotating or rocking. You should feel active through your core. You should feel stable and strong through your back, through your pelvis. This is our last one going this way. We're looking for a smooth ride. Left leg goes out wide, down low, and draws back up. Out wide, stay strong around your knee line. Positive stress, and raise back up. Average range of motion here is 90 degrees. So acknowledge that and work on it. Good, let's switch sides. Actively press up into your hands. So the arms should feel like they're having a workout, training that hip flexor on your left side. Down low with your right leg. Have you got the knees? Reaching out to the side, long through the adductor line, strong through the hip flexor to the top. Go low, smooth ride. It goes through external rotation as it opens out wide. Clocks on top. You'll notice it does a spiral as it goes down the center into a little bit of internal rotation. And then it reverses that as it comes up into the abduction phase of the circle. So just be clear. Reverse it. Deliberately slow, but assisted, right? So you're hanging on. So it's a great moment to really work on range of motion. Last one. Good job. Knees in. Okay, grab the ball. I've deliberately left your bridges and your pelvic curls to now, because we're going to progress those today. Okay, take your time. 5 counts to raise the pelvis up. Neutral position with the spine. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just stay. Work on your feet. Actively pressing your heels down, but also sucking your heels back and in towards your sit bones. Have you got that? It completely changes the bridge. Then you get a pretty strong message to work your pelvis forwards in opposition. Sitting down. 1, 2, 3. Keep working on your heels. 4, 5. I'll meet you at the top. Take your time. From your feet. 1. From your strong, lengthened, neutral position of the spine and pelvis. Rising at the top, really work on your height. How do you get there without arching your lower back? Strong through your core. Check your hands and arms and shoulders. Tip right pelvis up, left pelvis down. Come back to the center. Tip left pelvis up, right pelvis down. Back to the center. One more each hip. Tip. Careful your feet and lower legs are not resting. Remember, you're pulling. Good. Check your final position. Hold it up and slowly lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you're going to roll up like a pelvic curl. Take your time. Move through your pelvis without tightening. Easy hip. Think about the roll. Check your core right now. Continue to roll through the spine, raising the pelvis, finding maximal height at the top. Check your legs, heels pressing and sucking back. So you've got to use your lower legs to do that. Roll down. Keep working your feet and lower legs. Careful they're not resting. We have 2 to go. Arriving at the top of your bridge. Tricky to keep those feet and lower legs working, huh? I just noticed mine. They dropped out. Roll down. Careful, keep working feet and lower legs. Good job. Take the ball out. We've been working on our spine twist right here. We've been looking at a knee sway. So we're going to roll the knees to the right. And as we roll the knees to the right, you'll have to tip your feet. So you'll notice you're going onto the inside border of your left foot. Left leg is going into internal rotation. You're going onto the outside border of your right foot. Right leg is going into external rotation. Now pause here. Your pelvis should be at home base. Sway the knees back to center. You shouldn't be swaying the pelvis back to center. So you might like to pop your fingertips on your pelvic crest, just so you can keep yourself honest there. You're going the same direction. Teach the right. Starts in the knees. Mobile through the hips, strong and stable through your pelvis. How far can you go through the hip, through the legs and feet, without rotating and rolling through your pelvis? So that's your counterbalance. Good. We go left. Moves from the knees. Check. There's already work going on in your pelvis. So feel what's going on underneath your fingertips. Can you control it? The knees don't fall, they sway. So there's still energy back into the hip through those legs, using those hip flexor muscles. So nowhere near as much as it is when we're legs tabletop, but we're preparing for that already. Last time. Starts in the knees. Good. Now, once you get to your place where knees can't go any further, allow it to pull on the pelvis, but not your middle back. So how far now can you go with the pelvis, with your middle back still on the floor? Strong through your core. Pull back. Waist, pelvis, legs, knees, feet. Other side. Knees first. Really focus on what you're doing. Attentional focus on the pelvis. Now let the knees keep swaying, taking the pelvis, but anchor down, bunker down, middle upper back, upper torso, shoulders, arms, head, pulling back, waist, pelvis, legs, knees, feet. You're going to approach your spine twist, 90-90 usual position. Same. I've popped my trusty tool in between my knees. I'm going knees, pelvis. I'm anchoring, bunkering down, upper torso. Roll back, waist, pelvis, legs. Go knees, go pelvis. Careful, middle back should still be on the floor. Pull back. Last set. Last one. Good job, everybody. All out. Roll over onto your side. Stretch both legs out. Quick side moment. Use the top hand for support. Check your alignment. So where are the shoulders versus the pelvis and the spine? Legs are fully outstretched, feet are pointed. Raise both legs. Stay. Sweep the top arm over your head. Check pelvis. Can you get longer through your lower back? Bring the arm back. Find the floor. Lower the leg. 2 to go. Raise the leg. Sweep the arm. Check what's happening in your lower back. Iron out the creases. Can you get longer through your legs? So the legs are very low on purpose. They're coming up just in line with the spine, and your focus is spinal stability and pelvic stability. Last time. Fully outstretch those legs. Feel the tone in your inner thighs around your knee line. Sweep the arm. Bring it back. Little scissors. Legs splitting, separating. How far can you go before you move your pelvis and lower back? Join. Legs. Join. Legs. Join. Legs. Join. Final moment. Really just a check. Resting. Other side. Good. Here we go. Think about your setup. Raising both her legs. Sweeping the arm. Can you get a little longer through your lower back? Bringing the arm back. Can you get a little longer through your inner thigh edge of your legs? Touch down. Sweep. Full circle, gliding through your shoulder blade, fully outstretching the arm, sweeping it back, finding the floor, touching down. Last one. Floating up, sweeping the arm, bringing it back, preparing for the scissor. Nice and strong and stable pelvis, lower back. Toning up your legs. Focus is on lateral stability. So you'll feel it through your lateral hip and glute line. It's a good workout for the abdominals, the core strength aspect, the lower back. Last time. And rest. Sitting up. Tipping your weight back on your feet. Check in. Separate the toes, drop your head. Hopefully your neck feels better than it did at the top of the class. Good, drop your weight onto your feet. Final roll back up to standing. Arriving in your vertical position, try to keep your feet active. And if you've got the time, stay with me. Close your eyes in the upright position and just work on the upright posture. So can you balance your pelvis between your feet? Can you push off the strong foot, sending fuel up through your legs? So it feels like the pelvis gets picked up and then drawn into the center. Lower back feels long. Sacrum and coccyx hanging. And then you're up through the tower of the spine to find the rib cage balancing over the top of your pelvis. The shoulder hanging over the top of the strong torso, arms are long. And the head balancing on top of the tower of the spine. Notice your breath. Notice the center. Your vertical axis running straight through that imaginary line. Find it. And gently open your eyes. Happy Thursday, everybody. We got a lot done. Have a great day.